Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have got the beautiful Kiralee here today. Lovely friend of mine. She's going to be my model for my client tutorials. So I'm usually doing it on my face, as you guys know, but I thought that I would do it to a client today instead. I haven't completely thought about what look I'm going to do, so it'll probably be just as much of a surprise to us as you guys watch and go along. I always do match my eyeshadow though usually to what the client is wearing. So we've got a really light baby pink colour, so what colour eyes we got? Like a bluey green. I'm thinking I'll smoke out some warm brown, some warm tones, keep it nice and bronzy for a fresh summer look. So to start, I am adding some moisturiser to the outer perimeters of Kiralee's face. Kiralee was saying that she gets dry on the outer perimeters of her face where her acne is. However, the center of her face, where her forehead is, she tends to get oily. So that's why I'm just dabbing in those areas with a tissue just to soak up any excess oil from the moisturiser and make sure that that part is completely dry. However, where she gets dry on the outside of her face is nice and hydrated. Now I'm going in with my Cinema Secrets Cream Concealer. This is a really thick concealer, as you can see on the left hand side of the screen. That's the Cinema Secrets palette, and it is perfect for covering any blemishes and evening out the skin tone. So I'm adding this over all of her blemishes and pimple areas. It doesn't matter that it's a shade darker, as we're going to be pressing that in with my Beauty Blender and then going over it with the foundation colour suited to her neck and chest. So this is an important step before the foundation. That way when you add your foundation, you're only adding a light layer and your face isn't going to look cakey or full on. So I'm using the Estee Lauder Double Wear in the shade 1W1 Bone. And as you can see, I'm just using a concealer brush to place the product on her skin, but I always blend with my Beauty Blender and in dabbing motions, no sweeping motions. That way you're not moving the concealer and product that's underneath. I've just zoomed in a little bit so you can see a bit better. So again, just dabbing motions. Now what I've done here is added a very light layer, and I'm going back in with another layer of the foundation, only a little bit at a time, again just in the areas that we need. That way, like I said before, we're not adding one thick layer of foundation. For a couple of reasons. We're only adding it then in the areas we need more coverage, but also it's going to last longer, so that for wear time and the natural oils of your face as they start to arise throughout the day, it's got to work through then 3 fine layers compared to just one thick layer, and it will turn to mush and go cakey. So that's why I like to do one fine layer at a time, let it dry, and then go back in again. So in this case we've done 3 light layers, but only in kind of the center areas where she needed that extra coverage. Also with the full coverage foundation, such as the Estee Lauder Double Wear, which is what we're using, it can be quite drying, and it is a very thick one, so you do need to move quickly. So that way when you're only adding a little bit of time, you're kind of blending as you go and you're not leaving it sit on the skin, and that way, you know, it would just be quite a mission to blend out if you added a lot and tried to blend that out. So then I will add more concealer if need be. So this is my Tarte Shape Tape in the same shade that we've got as the foundation. I am now spot concealing this one stubborn area. As you can see, I'm just kind of pressing it out so that I've got room to blend it in, leaving most of the product on the actual blemish. With my Beauty Blender, I'm just blending out the edges. Now this is important. I'm not going on top of the actual blemish, keeping the product on top. And then with one light little dab, I just kind of went over so that it wasn't raised at all over the top of it, leaving the product there, and then quickly getting a translucent loose powder and setting that in place so that we've covered it, concealed it, done, it's not going to move anywhere, and it's set with powder. And I'm just doing the exact same thing over her smile lines because she's such a beautiful, lovely and chatty girl. We needed to set those in quickly too. Now the same Tarte Shape Tape I'm concealing under her eyes. Pressing that in again with my Beauty Blender, being very careful and diligent to not go near that powder on the right hand side of her face, because concealer and powder mushed together is not a good look. So usually I wouldn't do my wet stuff and my dry stuff, so my concealers and my powders around the same time. However, for this look it was necessary, as I wanted to quickly set it before any of it moved around. And with the same loose translucent powder, which is my Laura Mercier, I'm just setting the rest of the face. Again, a very important step. We don't want our foundation to move throughout the day, so it's very important to set it with a powder and it's not going to budge anywhere. And just notice my technique, it is dabbing, pressing motions. Again, no sweeping as we don't want to move what's underneath. However, now that it is completely set with the powder, we can then do light little swift sweeping motions just to get all of the excess powder off the face, if that makes sense. When you're first setting, always just dab and press. And then once it's completely set and dry, you can then do sweeping motions just to get any excess powder off the face. Sorry, that was my cup I bumped over. Zooming in again, I'm using my Smashbox Brow Tech pencil in the shade Dark Brown to fill in Kira Lee's brows. I've lined underneath, over the top, and then started to, of course, just pencil them in. I love this brow pen. I just find that you can do light feathery strokes, make it look as natural as possible, compared to a shadow, an eyeshadow, where it just completely fills them and makes them look blocky. And then with a precise concealer brush, I'm just going and outlining the brows just to make sure it's completely clean and neat. And then I will start to bring that down over her eyelid to commence priming her eyes before we go in with eyeshadow. I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, the same concealer as before. This is a very full coverage concealer, so I love it for priming the eyes. It completely cancels out any redness or pigmentation, any purple, dark or redness around our eyes. And again, it's just the perfect base before we go in with our eyeshadow. So I press that in with my Beauty Blender. And then I will go in with my Laura Mercier translucent powder to set that so that it doesn't crease and that it's not sticky. And I'm so disappointed that my camera stopped recording. So what we're up to now, all I did was set that primer concealer with her eyes with the powder, as I was saying. And then I just moved into working this orangey brown toned eyeshadow into her crease, and then from the Carly Bybel palette, which is what we're using, I've got this light brown shade and I'm just smoking that out onto the outer corner of her eye and blending that out with my 160W/10 Designer Makeup Tools brush. Again, patting that brown shade back in before going in with this champagne colour for a nice shimmery effect so that we have got something that's really light reflecting, and then pressing in with a bit more of a pinker shimmer shade. Getting rid of any fallout underneath her eyes, sweeping that away and highlighting the inner corner. Now we're moving into contouring, so just with no circular motions, just kind of creating a line. So this is accentuating the shadow of her cheekbones, which is already there, giving you that real drawn in, high cheekbones lifted effect. And then with my bronzer, I'm sweeping that over the top of the contour to really warm up the face and give her that nice sun-kissed kind of glow. Both products are from my NYX contour palette, the powder palette. And I use that in almost every makeup look. You can see the difference here on her left side of her face and her right side of her face. So again, over her cheekbones, and I always bring it up into like a C semicircle kind of shape onto her forehead. With a smaller brush, I've then picked up the highlighter banana shade from the palette, and I'm highlighting under her eyes over the concealer areas just for some extra coverage and extra longevity of makeup. Again, I am so sorry, my camera was having a shocker today. It cut out again. All I did though was add eyeliner and blush, I think was all that I did, and some illuminator on her forehead there, as you can see, down the bridge of her nose and also on her cheekbones. And then I've gone in with my Model Rock Demi Wisp lashes. These are one of my favorites, and adding that over the eyeliner there. This glue dries clear, which is awesome, so that you cannot see the white glue. And the lipstick shade that I've chosen for Kira Lee is the Huda Beauty Matte Lipstick in the shade Venus. Which brings us to the end, guys. This is the amazing finished look of Kira Lee. Beautiful, natural, summer glow. We have completely concealed the acne on the sides of her face and any redness. The bronzy champagne tones that I've gone with really bring out her blue eyes, and that glow just makes her skin look healthy and beaming. So this is the finished This is the finished look, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. This is the rose gold soft glam that we've done on Kira Lee, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!